welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, the only show right now in Indian television where you, the MSME, get center stage to voice your opinions and thoughts. This is ETNA's special daily initiative to give MSMEs and entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center on every industry and area that matters to you. Today on the show in Direct Connect, a panel of experts answering your questions, and later on the show, we will feature Ray's Pizzeria on our Small Giant segment. On our show tonight, we have Sushanto Mitra, founder and CEO of Lead Angels, as well as Ramanujam Narayan, founder of Contractor Universal, answering all the questions sent in to us. Sushanto, Ramanujam, thank you all very much for being with us here tonight to take in all of your queries. At the end of the show, we'll tell you how you can write in to us if you have any questions on any aspect of your business. Let's kick tonight's show off with a call that's coming to us from the line of Satish Sharma. Satish?
Being a manufacturer in Delhi, we have to pay very high wages, almost 40 to 30% higher than the competitors we have in India. So what steps should I take to match their prices?
All right, so I presume he's saying 40% higher because he's based in a metro versus doing the same business, being based in a tier 2, tier 3, etc. How does he overcome this?
So it's a tricky question. So he will really have to study the competitor strategy. What is it that competitors are doing which he has not still adopted in the market? And secondly, he will have to look at cutting the prices also, because a lot of companies are taking conscious call to cut prices in order to be in the market. So some aggressive calls will have to be taken to run the show.
Okay. And what part should technology then ideally play to help him cut back on cost?
So one thing maybe he can examine is if he also moves out of Delhi. If Delhi is a high cost center, both real estate and in terms of wages, many industries are moving today. Transportation and other infrastructure is not as improved a lot in the hinterland as well. So he should look at going to a tier 2 or a tier 3 city is one possibility.
But what if your market is in Delhi?
But I guess if his competitors are able to work in those same markets, then he should also be able to do that. The other thing that he may want to explore is, since he has to pay high wages, can he improve the efficiency of his workers to sort of compensate for the higher wages?
Sure. Satish, that's in response to your question. Figure out how your competitors are able to perform in the same market is the advice from our experts tonight for you. Our next question is a call that's coming to us from SV Chandrakumar. Go ahead, Chandrakumar.
Typical for us to run the business because uneducated, who are not in the line and who does not have the knowledge or rendering their services. Is it possible for the government or any other body to take care of that and see it is being standardized?
So when you're working with employees who aren't necessarily a part of an organized ecosystem, what is your advice about how to ensure that you're training them, loyalty, you're able to upskill them, keep reskilling them? How do you do that when you're working with a very fragmented kind of a business?
SOPs is one thing which might help such companies, standard operating procedures, because we don't have to wait for others to take a step. We ourselves can take a step wherein we give standard operating procedures to every player in the market, saying that this is the process what you have to follow. If this is the case, this has to be followed. If this is the case, this has to be followed. Secondly, a lot of companies are already having this fragmented segments when it comes to dealers and other stakeholders. So they are already doing a lot of campaigns. For example, when it came to GST, a lot of companies took initiatives to do channel dealer program throughout the globe, throughout India. So in that way, there is a lot of connectivity which is there, and there is a lot of standard operating procedures which is laid down by the company.
And in our previous episode, we were talking about working with drivers. So it's a very similar kind of a challenge.
Right. That's correct.
So of course, just to add that the government has, the National Skills Development Council, and there are skill development centers which the government has set up. And that does standardize the quality of the potential workers that you And there used to be problems in the past of the quality of education that these centers used to provide, but it has substantially improved, and maybe he could explore that option.
All right, that's in response to your question, Chandrakumar. Jai Chandra Naidu is calling in with this next question. Jai Chandra, what's your question?
SME segment mainly now struggling because of the attrition and as well as the GST model, where we are unable to sustain with our skilled resources. What is the solution?
For an organized industry then, you have GST, which I presume he means is going to increase the cost of his final product. And then he's saying we have attrition, which again is going to increase his own cost because he'll have to try and keep his employees back. So what would you recommend to him?
So from his background, it seems that he is providing security audit services to small and medium enterprises, and his client base is struggling with these things, attrition and GST and so on and so forth. So he finds it difficult to sustain his operations because of that. That is my understanding. I think here the key is that can he provide a way where SMEs can learn to do some of the work on their own, and therefore his cost of doing business goes down. So he could think of productizing his services, or making sure that his product is easily understood by his customers, so that his overall cost or requirement of manpower goes down and therefore become more profitable.
Okay.
I'll put it like this, just a single statement that GST is transitionary in nature. So there is a common myth that GST is ultimately increasing the price of the product. While I am not an expert and I would not like to comment that whether it is a boon or a curse, but I would say that once the fog is clear, definitely there will be a lot of understanding which will be developed in the market, because GST ultimately is getting passed on to the consumer.
Absolutely.
And at this level, they don't have to worry about the cost of product. From an overall perspective, there is going to be a lot of optimization which is going to be achieved in the economy.
Sure. In fact, the Minister for MSME spoke with us, and he said, one, like you're saying, it is definitely having a pass-through effect, so prices, don't be concerned about that. And second, he said within 6 months, all of these, it's a transitional period. 6 months is what it's going to last. Absolutely. Speaking of GST, in fact, time for one last query on the show, and it's also around GST. Atul Bajaria has written into us on Twitter to say they're leading distributor and supplier of plastic. He says due to GST, marketing of his product is becoming a big challenge. He says first, people are not aware about GST, and second, due to the hike in price on product after GST, he says his sales have been affected. He's written in to us tonight to say how he can tackle this problem and increase his sales. We were just talking about the pass-through effect, but is it the lack of information? Is it the fear? What is it that, you know, is sort of telling people that their prices are going to go up?
So I guess it's a combination of factors, and not just one factor. It will take time for the system to stabilize. It will not happen. India is a big country, and you know the supply pipeline is very long. So to sort of in overall terms, GST is not really increasing the taxes. So in the long run, it'll sort of stabilize and come back to the old sort of prices that we had, or more or less near that. And it should not impact sales in the long run. In the short run, I think one of the things that he could do is that this is a good time to perhaps provide other value added services and do better servicing of his clients, so that they remain loyal to him. When things stabilize, he would do better. So in a way, how to convert an adversarial situation to something to his advantage.
Okay.
He will have to probably understand the value chain and the supply chain, and make the customers aware that the logistical impact of GST has significantly come down. Today, from a particular factory, the goods which used to get delivered within 15 days, that is getting delivered within 6 days, which is a major factor which has really provided a lot of comfort to companies. And secondly, the cascading effect of taxes have gone away, right? So as I said in the previous question also for one of the readers, that it is going to be transitionary in nature, and it is a wait and watch situation. And as rightly said by sir, basically one will have to really look at the after sales service and other sales promotion activities, what we can really do at this point of time.
Okay, one thing in his question that I just want to pick up on and ask you gentlemen, he's saying our customers are not aware. Training your own employees is one thing. If your customers themselves are not aware, how do you sort of go about educating them about GST? Is it your role? Because at the end of the day, your business is getting impacted, or what do you do?
No, absolutely. I think every organization today whose customers are paying GST should educate their customers about GST and communicate to them that this is only a transitionary phase, while the prices may have had a sort of initial hike, but in the long run it's going to go back to the old. In fact, there are many advantages as well which they will derive over a period of time, and it's a duty of
every company needs to do it for its employees.
Majority of the companies are already doing this, but for small entrepreneurs it might be difficult considering the cost that is involved, but it is worth investing at this point of time.
Sure. All right, that's then wrapping up our show tonight. Ramanujam, Sushanto, thank you very much for answering all of the queries that have come in. Take a break. When we come back, Ray's Pizzeria and the story on the other side on our Small Giant segment. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Small Giants, we're bringing you the story of Ray's Pizzeria. Pizza is definitely hard to resist, going by the number of pizza parlors that are mushrooming across the country. Few, though, have built a cult following like Ray's Cafe and Pizzeria. Pooja Jain paid the Pizzeria a visit to sample what customers have described as a slice of heaven. Take a look.
Ray's Cafe and Pizzeria is a beautifully rustic pizza parlour in the heart of Bandra. Serving freshly baked New York-style pizzas in seemingly endless combinations of crusts and gourmet toppings, Ray's has found a fan following among local and global patrons alike.
Through the years, there have been so many pizza chains coming in, and we've tried all of them, but I can tell you for the last 7 years, Ray's has been consistent.
When it comes to pizza, I look for 3 basic ingredients, that is the crust, the toppings and the cheese.
I love that Ray's is this little cafe away from the hustle and bustle of Bandra, and as soon as you step in, you get this very European feel, which I personally really like.
If you're a pizza lover, you just get drawn towards Ray's.
The service is good, I like the ambience. It's close by from where I stay.
The management is really passionate about what they do, and I just love coming here.
We explored exactly what has worked for the nimble neighbourhood pizzeria that everyone claims is not to be missed.
Our understanding is that Ray's Cafe and Pizzeria has essentially blossomed from a family recipe that's been passed on for generations. Tell us more.
My mother-in-law used to serve pizzas right from the late 70s. There were people who would come to our home, her family, her friends, everyone. They came home, they only wanted her pizza. You couldn't serve them anything else. And this was at a time when pizza wasn't even a staple. And this went on till the 90s, which is when I got married into the family. And my husband's friends would say, you know, don't give us anything else, make sure you give us your home pizzas. And we realized that we had a winner, and we said, let's take this forward. So we decided, let's use whatever I had learned from her and take it a step forward and put in our input. And that's how we put in our New York style pizza. We realized that there was a niche for it, and there was no point keeping it all hidden at home. We knew there were people who would enjoy it, and that's how Ray's was born in 2010. And we haven't looked back.
So how do you compete with the larger pizza chains of the world, the more established players like Domino's, Pizza Hut, so on and so forth?
We don't really think of them as our competition, right? Their product is very different. That's mass produced. Our dough is fresh made every day. Our sauce is freshly made every day. In our case, we've got customers coming in for our pizza. We've got the New York style pizza, which, as you know, is, you've got that typical, the large pies, the edges are slightly crisp, they're soft and chewy, you can fold them and eat them. And that's what the customer is coming in for. He's not coming in for a pizza that's that he would get at any other one of these MNCs.
Let's talk about personalization of the pizza. How do you ultimately offer your customers choice?
I don't think anyone in Bombay does more customization than we do. Okay, we've got 3 different flours, right, from whole wheat to gluten-free to regular. We've got 4 different crusts: skinny, thin, regular and thick. We've got 3 different sizes, 9, 12, 16. Then they take it forward and they choose from our over 50 toppings. We've got toppings that are Indian, Indian ingredients. We've got toppings that suit the foreign market. As you know, Bandra is a very, very cosmopolitan suburb. It's got expats, it's got people from all walks of life, it's got young people, it's got families, and I think we've catered to every palate. Right? We've got ingredients like prosciutto ham, Gouda cheese, feta cheese. We've name it, and I think we've got it. Anything that can probably go on a pizza, we've probably got it.
How cost effective is it to create specialty pizzas that are gaining increasing popularity, such as the vegan pizza, the gluten-free pizza, and so forth?
When you say vegan, vegan is simply a product which is dairy-free or anything that is not derived from an animal, as in honey. So we simply deduct that ingredient and we put in something that would work instead. So vegan is not necessarily expensive, it's just a different product. Gluten-free, marginally so, but I think the customer that wants a gluten-free pizza is ready to pay the difference. When people say gluten-free, they think it's a healthier option. It is not. It's simply what you would eat if you had an intolerance to gluten. So that's the market that we're catering to. Okay, so when people come and say, oh wow, you've got gluten-free, give me a gluten-free pizza. And then we sit and educate them and say, it's not a healthier option. It's simply an option for people who have a problem with having gluten.
How has technology impacted pizza making, if at all?
I see that in the way we make our sauce, the equipment available to make it, the dough making process. We see a lot of difference, and only for the better. I think about 15-20 years ago, you had those boxes that would crush the pizza, thinner paper, thinner, no vents. Over time, people realized, even those 20 minutes of delivery time makes a difference to that pizza, right? So what we have now, we've made sure that we've got these boxes that are, I think, patented. They've got vents that, let's say the steam escapes so the pizza doesn't get soggy and yet keeps the pizza warm, right? Now technology, you're seeing technology there, right? Then you have a simple thing like a stool. You wouldn't think of putting in a stool in the middle of a pizza, but obviously someone out there is working to make sure pizzas reach a customer better, and that's why that stool is put in, because the minute you stack up pizzas, what you've got is, if you don't have a stool in there, you've got the third pizza crushing the first pizza down, right? So small things like that, that's how technology has come in, and it's only getting better.
With one well-established eatery in the heart of Mumbai, how do you now think about expansion plans going forward?
We would love to, but recreating the same ambience is a little difficult because we found this fantastic niche. We love it. It's not really on the main road. It's got this little outdoor-indoor feel. I think people come in for the experience, and it's got this Goa-esque Italian, cafe-like feel. I haven't found a place where I could recreate the same ambience, right? Now, if I move to a delivery module, which is also good, maybe I don't have to worry about that. Basically, we're still weighing the pros and cons. We're trying to figure out, if we want to move towards the delivery module or we want to stick to what we're doing.
And what are some of the lessons learned when it comes to building brand loyalty in this business?
We've got our own brand loyalty. We've got people coming in, they want that taste, they want the authenticity. They want to make sure that that's what they're getting when they come in, and they want to leave from here with that experience. So that's the area that, key area that we realize is important, and we focus on that.
A rich understanding of the customer's taste buds and a constantly evolving menu with new gourmet pizzas on rotation has earned Ray's Cafe and Pizzeria a delicious slice of the customer's mind share and wallet share.
I pretty much grown up eating their pizzas.
According to me, they serve the best pizzas in town.
So when it comes to pizza, I prefer Ray's Pizzeria.
There's always a good enough reason to come to Ray's.
But it's the preservation of the long-standing family recipe, together with its hands-on approach to delighting the customer, that has pizza lovers from all pockets of life returning to Ray's.
Completely out of time on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow. If you want to be featured here on the show, write in at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. On social media, tweet at us at LOT_ET now, or at me personally at Sunanda_J, or Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now is our Facebook page for you to get in touch with us. You can also call us on that number you see on your screen. We promise to have all your questions answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.